The concepts covered are: how much water is available, forms of water, groundwater is an important source of water, depletion of water table, distribution of water, water management, what role you can play, effect of water scarcity on plants. Water is an elixir of life. We all use water, and in that process of using, we make it dirty. The water rich in a lather, mixed with oil and other pollutants that go down the drains from sinks, showers, toilets, laundries is dirty. It is called wastewater. Water our lifeline. Water our lifeline. Clean water useful for several purposes is not available to all. Clean water is a basic need of human being because clean water is useful for drinking, cooking, bathing, watering the plants, and also for keeping ourselves clean. Sewage. It is wastewater released by homes, industries, agricultural fields, and other human activities. It also includes rainwater that has run down the street during a storm or heavy rain, and it is liquid waste. Most of its water has dissolved in suspended impurities called contaminants. The following components make the sewage. The organic impurities present in sewage are human feces, animal wastes, like animal dung, urea, as urine, oil, fruits and vegetable wastes, pesticides, herbicides, etc. The inorganic impurities present in sewage are nitrates, phosphates and metals. The nutrients present in sewage are nitrogen and phosphorus. The bacteria present in sewage include those bacteria which cause waterborne diseases such as cholera and typhoid. The other microbes present in sewage are protozoa which cause a waterborne disease called dysentery. Water, an eventful journey. In a house or a public building, generally, there are two sets of pipes. One set of pipes brings clean drinking water into the house, and the other set of pipes takes away wastewater, sewage from houses. For a proper sanitation, a well-maintained sewage system is required. Sewers are the network of small and big pipes forming sewerage. Sewerage system. The pipes which carry away wastewater or sewage from houses and other buildings are buried under the ground. An underground pipe which carries away dirty drainage water and waste matter is called sewer. The provision of drainage at a place by laying sewers under the ground is called sewerage. Actually, sewerage is an underground network of interconnected pipes called sewers that carries the sewage from the place where it is produced to the sewage treatment plants, where it is processed. Manholes. Manhole is a covered vertical hole in the ground, pavement or road, above the underground sewer pipeline through which a worker can go down up to the sewer pipes for inspection, cleaning, etc. Manholes are provided at every 50 to 60 meters distance in the main sewer pipeline. Manholes are also provided at the junction of two or more sewers and at points where there is a change in the direction of the sewer line. Sources of wastewater. Sewage water contains detergents, toxic chemicals, food wastes, paper, human feces, plastics, metal objects, microorganisms, blood, human/animal tissues, etc. These kinds of materials present in wastewater are called contaminants. In agricultural practices, pesticides and fertilizers are used, which gets mixed with fresh water during rains or flood, thereby contaminated the river and ponds. The wastewater from the industries may contain lubricant oil, paint, dye, chemicals and metals. These are also called industrial effluents. Construction of buildings, mining leads to the generation of wastewater containing cement, paints, metals and chemicals. Slaughterhouses, animal farms and veterinary hospitals too contaminate water and contribute to sewage. One of the major sources of wastewater is domestic sewage from homes. Treatment of polluted water. Perform the following activity. It will help you to understand the processes that take place at the wastewater treatment plant. Wastewater treatment plant. A place where wastewater or sewage from houses and other buildings is brought for processing is called wastewater treatment plant. Treatment of wastewater involves physical, biological and chemical processes depending on the nature of contaminants. 1. Physical process screening. The bar screens first remove the large rubbish objects like rags, sticks, cans, poly bags, napkins, sanitary towels, etc., from the wastewater. After passing through the bar screen, wastewater is taken to a tank called grit and sand removal tanks. In this, sand and grit settle down slowly at the bottom of the tank as water passes slowly through this tank. The settled sand and impurities are removed from the tanks from time to time. Biological process. The first sedimentation tank is sloped towards the center. Solid-like feces settle at the bottom and is called sludge, which is removed by a scraper. Oils and grease float at the surface of the water are removed by a skimmer. The biogas produced by anaerobic bacteria in the process can be used as fuel or can be used to produce electricity. Here, water gets cleared of rubbish, oil, grease, etc., and we get clarified water, which is sent to aeration tank now. In the aeration tank, the watery waste already contains bacteria, aerobic, in it. The compressed air bubbles are passed through this waste to provide O2 to the bacteria to increase bacterial activity, which ultimately digests human waste, food waste, soaps and other unwanted and harmful matter still remaining in the wastewater, leaving behind fairly pure water. Chemical treatment of wastewater, WWT. Sometimes harmful chemicals can be present in the water even after treating them physically and biologically. These chemicals are therefore removed by using disinfectants such as chlorine and ozone. Often chlorine gas or ozone gas is introduced in this water, which purifies it chemically. Sanitation and disease. Poor sanitation and contaminated drinking water can cause several diseases like cholera, meningitis, hepatitis, typhoid, polio. Large fraction of people defecates on dry river beds, near fields, directly in water, which may cause water and soil pollution. Riverbed. Both groundwater and surface water get polluted because groundwater is the source of water for wells, springs, rivers, etc. Become an active citizen. Waste generation is a natural part of human activity, but we can limit the type of waste and quantity of waste produced. Often, we have been repelled by an offensive smell. The sight of open drains is disgusting. The situation worsens in the rainy season when the drains start overflowing. We have to wade through the mud pools on the roads. Most unhygienic and unsanitary conditions prevail. Flies, mosquitoes and other insects breed in it. We should be an enlightened citizen and approach the municipality or the Gram Panchayat. We should also insist that open drains should be covered. If the sewage of any particular house makes the neighborhood dirty, we should request them to be more considerate about others' health. We should plant eucalyptus trees all along sewage ponds. These trees absorb all surplus wastewater rapidly and release pure water vapor into the atmosphere. What better housekeeping practices we can adopt? A good way to minimize the sewage water is to check what is going in our drains. If we dispose of our waste properly, we may be able to reduce the sewage. Here are some housekeeping practices that we should adopt. We should throw all the oil and fats in dustbin rather than throwing them up the drain. Oil and fats harden and block the drains. Moreover, it is difficult to separate them from the water. We should not throw chemicals in the drains like insecticides, pesticides or medicines. They can kill the microbes in the water that help in its purification. We should not throw things in the drain that can block them like tea leaves, food remains, cotton, soft toys, etc. We should always throw them in the dustbin. Treating water at home. Sanitation and disease. Sanitation refers to the health conditions of people related to the disposal of sewage, human excreta and provision of clean drinking water. Poor sanitation and polluted drinking water can lead to many diseases. Hence, a sanitation system aims to provide a clean environment for us so that we can stay away from diseases. Improper sanitation can give rise to different diseases that arise from contaminated water, such as typhoid, dysentery, hepatitis, polio, cholera and meningitis. The human excreta is a health hazard and can lead to soil and water pollution. It can pollute the surface water and groundwater. Hence, people should never defecate in open areas. Alternative arrangement for sewage disposal. Low cost outside the sewage disposal system has been developed to take care of places where there is no sewage system, for example rural areas, isolated buildings. These are described below. Septic tanks. This is often installed under the ground in houses or buildings such as hospitals. It allows decomposition of sewage from home through the action of anaerobic bacteria. Chemical toilets. It has a separate compartment that treats human waste with chemicals and decreases their odor. Composting toilets. These toilets treats human waste with biological processes. The aerobic bacteria are present in a storage tank that act upon the waste and turn it into compost. Sanitation at public places. In our country, fairs are organized periodically. A large number of people participate in them. In the same way, railway stations, bus depots, airports, hospitals are very busy places. Thousands of people visit them daily, which generate large amount of waste. It must be disposed of properly, otherwise epidemics could break out. The government has laid down certain standards of sanitation, but unfortunately, they are not strictly enforced. We should not scatter litter anywhere. If there is no dustbin in sight, we should carry the litter at home and throw it in the dustbin. Hence, we should all become aware and contribute to maintaining sanitation not only in our homes but also at public places. If we adopt certain practices at public places, we can help in maintaining their sanitation. For instance, we should not throw garbage in public places and always use the dustbins. We should not spit around in a public place.